So cute. Hi, everybody. Gosh, this really definitely is a whole new meeting on the spot, doesn't it? Well, first of all, I have to just share a tip with you. If you are ever in a situation where you are selling a product from the stage, there is a way to do that. All you have to do is tell them that you have a fabulous offer. If they're interested, please give, or you can tell them you have some great tips. And if you like those tips, just give me your email address. Exactly. It's the same thing I'm going to do. We all have something to say, right? Obviously. So I want you to know I am in the love business. I mean, really, can you think of anything better than in the love business? I mean, I know you all love what you do, but I really love what I do. For the past decade, I have been a licensed minister here in Las Vegas, and I perform wedding ceremonies around town. I have the opportunity to do them on the ground and above the ground in helicopters. You really can't ask for anything better than that. So with that said, also let me just give you a little background. I do have a corporate background. I was in the rental car business for over 3.5 decades. I don't like to share how many years I've been around, but I've been around for a very long time. I've been in Las Vegas since 1976, so I've seen so many changes out there. So with that said, the last couple of years I've been on a journey. I'm a widow. I've been a widow for 7 years. And I was on a path of trying to find love. Now, for those of you that are in the room that have been married for a very long time, I was married for 33 years. How many of you are married a long time? Okay. So imagine yourself all of a sudden not having your spouse, going from a Mrs. to a Miss, from a +1 to a 1. Think about that. And with that journey, I found out that there are a lot of baby boomers, people really over 50 like myself, that have been in long-term relationships, whether they're divorced, whether they're widowed, whatever the situation is. And then it's, gosh, how do you find love again? Okay, how do you get out there and meet people? So I have put together a great workshop, which I'm not going to sell you, but I'm going to just share with you on how people over 50 can find love again. I coach them. But I want to share with you today a couple of tips for those of you that are single, on how to make the first great date, and how that ties in to when you meet new clients. So first of all, are any of you in the dating world? Is it fun? Interesting, right? Anybody have any comments? I bet you she's online right now. Answering someone. So the first thing you need to do is really you need to just be clear about what you really want in an individual. And I think that's the first thing. You've all heard that term, clarity, right? Well, with clarity there comes what I call dysfunctional detoxing. And this is something that sometimes we even need to do even in our business life. We have a tendency of, if we had a relationship, whether a bad relationship personally or professionally, you meet somebody, there might be a similarity, and all of a sudden you now label them into that same profile. You really can't. So you really need to do some dysfunctional detoxing before you even think about going out and finding love again. And that's important as well. There's a lot of ways you can do that. And the same thing like you do in your business life. When you're ready to look for new clients and you're thinking about which way to go, what do? Do you grab a glass of wine? Do you go to the gym? Maybe you meditate? Whatever it is you do, you pray, maybe you sit in your garden. For me, I like to go take a jog. I like to sit with my dog in the backyard and watch the hummingbirds. But this is great when you find clarity. And clarity, again, you can use whether it's on a first date or in your business life. So the next thing is I want to also talk to you a little bit about is what I call photoshopping. And you say, what do you mean by Photoshop? We're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to make our waist look like the Kardashians. So what I mean by photoshopping is you really need to hone in on what are your best assets. You know, we all have things about ourselves. What are our best assets about ourselves? You know, maybe we're the type of person that's a great listener. Or maybe we're the type of person that makes people laugh. Maybe we're the leader in the group. Maybe you have great eyes. Maybe you have great hips. Whatever it is, you need to work on enhancing yourself. And now that can also be applied to your business. What do you do great in business? What are the 5 things that people say that they like about you? And you need to enhance those because we sometimes sabotage ourselves. We have a tendency of being our own worst enemy, even on the personal side. I know myself, I think about I'm too old, I've got another wrinkle here, I've got a little bit more folds in my belly. You guys, cover your eyes, okay? But the point is, it's also the same thing can be applied to in the world of business. Don't focus on the negative, focus on the positive. Enhance yourself. And if there are things that you feel that you have a little bit of weaknesses, step out of your comfort zone. Get out there. I don't know, how many of you love to get up and speak and talk about your products? Okay. How many of you are just really don't want to do that? See, that's why we have tons of room. That'll help you. But seriously, think about what assets you have about yourself on the personal level and on the professional level. And also ask your friends and ask your business associates. And do not ask that negative Nellie in the office or that negative Nellie that's your friend. Okay, so that's very important. And then the next thing is okay, the next thing I talk about is also, what do you want in a partner? And that partnership is also something that can be applied to the business side. What are you looking for in a mate? Now, many of us that have been in relationships for many years were looking for different things 30 or 40 years ago. I know I was, and I bet a lot of you in the room feel the same way, right? Well, the same thing applies to today. What are you looking for? We know that, I'm not going to go out, and find George. I mean, he's already taken. And I'm sure some people would like Jennifer Lopez, but they're taken. So you need to turn around and really evaluate what you are looking for in a person. That too. And then also, what are you looking for? Take that and bridge this over to your business side. What do you want from your clients? So we just, she had asked those questions. What are your top 3 or 4 clients, right? Well, what do they bring? And you want to be able to generate more leads and more clients the same way. Okay, so now let's say you've taken these 3 things, you're going to go out on a first date. And again, we're going to have to apply some of this to business as well. So you get ready for the first date. The first thing you do is make sure you're dressing appropriately. And you're probably thinking, well, I do dress appropriately. Well, I have to tell you something, that's not always the case. Sometimes people go into Starbucks, sometimes you're dressing down, and sometimes you're dressing up. And you really need to dress what I call in between. And that doesn't mean that you're going to wear a tube top, your boobs sticking out, or a guy's going to show up in his flip-flops and his belly hanging out, and especially when his profile says he's toned, and he's not toned, okay, that does happen. But it's important that you dress the part. And the same thing applies when you're going to meet clients. You're going to walk in and you're going to look your best. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to walk into Starbucks looking like this. However, if I was going to meet a client or somebody new, and I was on my way to work, I might walk in like this. And you tell them, this is what I'm doing. I'm a minister, so sometimes I will meet people at Starbucks and I'm dressed in my minister's garb. And I'm like, no, it's black, it looks appropriate. And they might be in their jeans or whatever. So think about that with clients as well. Second thing is don't become that journalist. Don't become that journalist. Many of us have this list of questions that we want to ask somebody because we want to find out all about them. Okay, you might as well ask them for their personal net worth statement. It's not going to happen. Maybe you're trying to find out where they've been, who they've been with, who they know, where do they live, and what they do. Sit down and have a great conversation with somebody. Don't take that journalistic approach to firing questions. Okay, so think about it. The same thing when you're walking in to meet a new client. The same thing applies. If you walk in, you're not going to fire up on what you do, what you're looking for, you can't do that. You have to develop a rapport. And that is so important, is developing relationships with people. Right? So remember that. And the last thing I always like to talk about for a great first date is put the electronics away. Yes. Put the electronics away. And I know it's difficult. And I know we're all here without phones on the table. really you need to respect the time that you have and that somebody is giving you. Because the most valuable asset we have is time. And they're giving you their time, whether it's a client, whether it's a first date. So make sure you're giving them their undivided attention and have fun. And you can have a lot of fun too, even with clients, as you get to know them a little bit. So now, I'd like to just bridge over and just give you 3 tips to those married women in the room, people in long-term relationships. Anybody in long-term? Okay. How to date your spouse or your long-term partner. And again, we can apply this to long-term relationships that you foster with clients. First thing is you need to have what I call a date night. Does anybody have a date night? Yes. Yeah. Yes, you have date night? Yes. And do you go to a movie usually, or do you go to dinner? What do you choose? Both. Both? Okay. Well, it's important that you spend quality time with each other. Okay, and one of the things with quality time is not something that's going to entertain both of you. You need to be entertaining each other. Same thing when you go to meet a client. You're not going to turn a movie on. But behave when somebody comes in and just puts a slide up and gives you their whole slideshow. I mean, think about it. Really, I want to hear more about what you're selling, what you're offering, what you have, instead of a slideshow. The same thing too when you're going out with your spouse. Okay, you don't really want to go to a movie. You might want to do something where you're interacting with each other. Maybe you want to go play miniature golf. Maybe you want to go take some sort of cooking lesson. Maybe you want to go on a hike. Maybe you like to go shooting and outdoor and indoor shooting range. Or maybe you want to skydive. Just kind of think about some fun first dates. Just like a first date. Just think about something fun. And always approach it as a first date. The next thing is you always have to have time for each other. So electronics away. Right? Those are the things that you really need to do, is put your electronics away. And if you have small children at home, I don't know if anybody does, or you have any grandkids at home that you're responsible for, there's a way you can silence your phone, but if you need to have a babysitter or somebody that's watching them, that call will filter through. So you want to give that person undivided attention as well. And the last thing is I always recommend, which you can't really do with the client, is have a date night in the bedroom. You can just take your imagination there. I don't know that any woman in that room would really appreciate me talking about that. You do need to have some quality time when you're just holding hands. Maybe you're just sitting in the backyard and laying by the pool or having coffee in the morning. It doesn't necessarily mean full-blown intimacy. It's so important to reconnect. And as we do get a little older in our years, okay, we don't have the same energy level, and sometimes holding that hand or snuggling with somebody is the greatest thing in the world. So now, let's take some of this and apply it to our business world. As you know, that there's certain clients that are really your top clients. You have to nurture them. You have to spend time with them. So you need to do that as well. Does anybody have any questions about what they've done for their either first date or what they've done with the date with their spouse? Any questions? Anything they want to share? Yes, go ahead, share.
The dating world is quite interesting, especially when it comes to problems. And you know what? That's what I put on my profile because I didn't want to talk. I made a mistake and dated one guy, and I'm like, oh my God. And I didn't even ask the wrong question. It was the way I presented it, and all of a sudden, it was like, whoa, and you're just like, oh.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I have several blogs, like I said, on my site. And the next blog I just told my daughter today, I don't know how the universe sometimes works in strange ways. I said, I have to write a blog about mixed relationships. It's true. And I'm not talking about mixed relationships with dating somebody that's white, that's black, that's Asian, because today in the world it is very true. People do ask about politics. And I don't see why you can't have a relationship with somebody if you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat, or I'm an independent. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not taking it to the bedroom. You're not taking it to dinner. You might have difference of opinions, And that's okay. You just need to have healthy conversations about it. And I think that's what it is. I think the boundaries have to be set beforehand. And I've had men say to me, if you voted for Trump or if you voted for Hillary, and I just right away, you know what, that to me is a red flag anyway. Why would you want to go out with somebody that's going to put you in that category?
Exactly.
And it's interesting, I just had a matchmaker reach out to me. She had somebody she wanted me to meet. I used to be a client. I still think you need to do your own matchmaking. Same way you go out, generate your own leads. And she said, I have somebody for you. It's great on paper, great profile. He wants to know two things. What's your political affiliation? So, it's something to think about.
None of the above.
None of the above. Anyway, so those are the tips I just wanted to share with you a little bit about in the dating world, whether you are single, whether you're not. And like I said, this has been a wonderful journey for me. I've had the opportunity to develop a workshop, which I'm not going to share with you yet. One day I'll be able to from the stage, but you know, there's something that I think is so important for all of us in the room. And I also have this as well as one of my 3 tips. It's important that we, especially, you know, as women, and not that men don't, but we really need to make sure we're loving ourselves. That's the first thing. The second thing is you need to make sure you rock yourself. Because you need to rock who you are, no matter what size, whether you're short, whether you're tall, whether you're skinny, whether you're a little heavy, it doesn't matter. Whether you have gray hair, white hair, you need to rock yourself. You need to love yourself. And the last thing is, let me leave you with, is you need to always be yourself. And that's important as well. So, Carly, thank you for the opportunity. This is very That was wonderful.
Yeah.
That was great. Thank you so much, Maria. Those are some great tips. I really liked the relation back to clients, you know, and thinking about that continual nurturing. It's like not something that's usually the forefront of my mind. I don't know about you guys, but you know, it's like you communicate with clients in kind of regular business or whatever. But I love that extra edge of the nurturing. That's what
Yeah, that was 4 minutes ago you told me that happened.
Yeah.
Working on your